Alright, so I was tooling around some of the forums, educating myself a little bit, and I noticed that there was a lot of people having trouble converting their think strips into Prodigio codes, two entirely different systems, and people were kind of banging their heads about it. And I totally agree with them. I've had some trouble with it when I first started as well. It's not as intuitive for somebody who was always writing code to do the drag and drop. So I'm going to show you how I do it. It's a method that has been working for me very well. Basically, we're going to do a triple moving average, which is 3 times the exponential moving average of your security minus 3 times the moving average of that moving average plus the moving average of your second moving average of your first moving average. So we bang out a quick study. It's fairly straightforward. Decide we want to make it an upper study. We let the user decide the length of the period for the moving averages. We make our first exponential moving average based off of the close and what the user defined as the length. Then we make our second moving average, which is the moving average of our first moving average, same length. Then we make our last moving average, which is a moving average of our second one, which originally was a moving average of our first one. We've got all our variables worked out. All we've got to do is plot it on the graph. So we throw a simple plot on the bottom. We put in our simple arithmetic, 3 times the first one minus 3 times the second one plus the third one. Very straightforward for somebody who's been using Thinkorswim for a while. It takes you about 10 minutes tops. So now you want to convert this into Prodigio. Well, the first thing that I do is I make myself a visual map, because that's really how Prodigio works. Since it's all visual scripting system, it's a lot of dragging and dropping. So what I do is I do something along these lines. I make my first moving average. I draw an arrow with what I want to occur. So I want to take that moving average and take a moving average of it to make my second. Same thing for the third. Take a moving average of the second to make the third. Then I'm going to take those moving average values, multiply them by 3, subtract the first from the second, and then add that to the third. Okay, so now you open up your Prodigio, swing on over to your wizard lab, and start building your first rule. So, first thing that I do is we're going to build ourselves our first exponential moving average. So we've got to get ourselves a source data, which is going to be our open high-low close bar. And we're going to take that and we're going to put that into a moving average. So I go under technical analysis, go to the exponential moving average, EMA, drag that out here onto the screen, right? Now I need to connect the output to the input, and we're going to use a period of 14, just like we did in our earlier study that we wrote up in our 10 minutes in ThinkScript. Now what we're going to do is we're done with that one. Later it's going to get multiplied by 3, but right now we're just worried about making that one. So now we're going to make our second. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull it out. We're going to give ourselves another EMA. And then another EMA. So remember, we're taking the moving average of the moving average. So we connect it, we're done, right? Now we're going to do our third one, which is the same process again. Open, high, low, close. Now we're going to need 3 EMAs. So here's our first, here's our second, here's our third. Connect them. So now we've got our 3 EMAs, right? So our first one, right here, has to be multiplied by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Math tab. We're going to click on the Math tab. We're going to scroll down until we find multiply. We're going to pull out a multiply. This isn't the only one that gets multiplied. Our moving average of the moving average also gets multiplied. So we're going to multiply that. Now, we want to multiply it by 3. So we're going to drag these outputs to the inputs, but we've got to put 3 into our input B. And the way that you do that is just scroll back up to the top. Under our source data, where we got our open, high, low, close from, you're going to pick constant. You can drag that over. This one has a decimal in it. We're going to leave that there just in case you want to fiddle with it a little bit. But you can also do the constant integer value, which would be no decimal, because we're using 3. So what we're going to do is change this to 3. And we're going to pull ourselves out another one. We're also going to change that one to 3. Alright, so now we've got our 2 constants. So we got to multiply our constants. Right? So now, the way that we did in our study was the first one minus the second one plus the third one. So, simple addition again. So we're going to go to our math. We need to add 2 of them together, right? So here's our addition. I'm sorry, we need to subtract the first 2. Dig on me there, sorry guys, but we're getting to the add. So we're going to go down to subtract. Right? And I know the screen's getting cluttered, but that's just unfortunately the way that it works with this. So we're going to subtract our first from our second. So in order to do that, we're going to take the output from the multiplication, right? We want to subtract that from this, right? Then the output of that is going to get added to our last one, right? And now you're done. I mean, if you want to make this a strategy, I'll show you how to finish up here. Let's say, for example, when it goes below the triple average, you want something to be triggered. So we're going to go to our logical operator. We're going to say when it crosses below, right? So we say when, but we got to tell the program what we want to cross below. We're going to use price. So it's very simple. You come up to your source data, click on it, go down to your open, high, low, close, drag it on over here, and now when the open, high, low, close for the day falls below that EMA, we're going to give it a trade action. We're just going to drag over signal. The output goes to the signal. If that's true, it's going to trigger whatever your strategy is. Sell short, sell your long position, whatever you want to do. So this is real basic how to set this up. I didn't want to do something real simple like moving average crossover. That's pretty easy to do in this, so we picked something a little bit more complicated, showed you how to map it out, and showed you how to build it in Prodigio. If you got any questions, you can shoot over to my blog, learnedinvestor.blogspot.com. I'll be more than happy to answer any of them for you, or you can hit me up on the forums where this will also be posted, the ThinkScript forums. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys later.